Before we get into the episode, I am thrilled to announce that the EntreMD Business School is open for enrollment. The EntreMD Business School is the only school of its kind for physicians who want to build 6, 7, and multiple 7-figure businesses. Over the last 2 years, we have had hundreds of doctors go through the school with unbelievable results. Some of them run brands, some of them run private practices, some of them are coaches, some have other kinds of service-based businesses or product-based businesses. And we've had people come in and cross the 6-figure milestone, cross the 7-figure milestone, cross the multiple 7-figure milestone. You will be in a place where you'll get the coaching, the community, the accountability that you need to thrive as an entrepreneur, especially in the times that we're in. So maybe you've been following me for a while. Maybe you've been getting so much out of the EntreMD podcast and you've been wondering, how can I work with Dr. Una and the community more? Well, this is your chance. Come join us in the EntreMD Business School. It is application only. So go to entremd.com/business to turn in your application. I cannot tell you how many doctors have made statements like this. I recovered my investment in the first week. I recovered my investment in my bank account in the first 90 days. This is the best investment I've made in myself ever. I want you to have that kind of story, not just a story of building a great business that serves a lot and earns a lot, but having a business that gives you the freedom to live life on your terms. So don't wait any longer. entremd.com/business. And now for the episode. Hi, docs. Welcome to the EntreMD Podcast, where it's all about helping amazing physicians just like you embrace entrepreneurship so you can have the freedom to live life and practice medicine on your terms. I'm your host, Dr. Una. Hello, and welcome to another episode of the EntreMD Podcast. I am so pumped that you're here. Okay. Now, at the time of this recording, this is the very last episode for 2020. And of course, we're going to go out with a big bang. Okay. All right. So before we get into the episode, I want to read a review from someone who did the very first course in EntreMD On Demand, which is our signature monthly subscription program. Think of it as Netflix for the physician entrepreneur. And this is Dr. Jarita Higgins. And she says, I was unclear about 2021, but now I feel more confident now that I have a written plan and the daily action steps to be successful. So having a plan is one thing, having the daily action steps to take is another, and she got both of them out of it. So if you haven't checked it out already, head over to entremd.com/on-demand and check it out. Their very first course on there is 5 steps to your best year. And that's the kind of year that I want you to have. Okay. All right. So thank you, Dr. Higgins, so much for that review. And let us get into our episode. Today, we are going to be talking about how not to relive 2020. And you may be we are all in different stages, right? So maybe 2020 was a great year for you, but there's more, right? So why relive it when you can have another experience? Maybe it sucked, right? How not to relive it. So whether it was great or it was bad, there's more. And how do we not have the same year? I get amused when people tell me, I have to do interviews and stuff like that. And someone's like, I have 10 years experience. I'm like, do you? Or have you had the same experience 10 times? Okay. So we don't want to be 40 years, 50 years, 60 years. And, claim to fame is the longevity, right? We want to have unique experiences every year. And that's done intentionally. That does not happen by accident. It's very possible that you can have the same exact year next year. And you won't, because you're an EntreMD, you listen to this podcast and you're ready for more. Okay. So the way to not have the same year next year, the way to not have your next 12 months be your last 12 months is that you must change. All right. The common denominator in every single year you've had since you were born is you. If you change, everything changes. All right. So some people, I see a lot of excitement about 2021. Like, oh my gosh, I can't wait for 2020 to be over. Let's just do a do-over and all this stuff. And people are very hopeful, very optimistic. And I'm like, great. I mean, I'm hopeful and optimistic too, but your hope and optimism needs to be coming from a place of responsibility, okay? Not from a place of wishful thinking. So I can guarantee you that as we cross over from December 31st to January 1st, there's nothing magical that happens. You're literally going from one day to another day. It's the same as going from February the 7th to February the 8th. The only thing that makes it magical is your decision to change. All right. Now, when it comes to change, sometimes, we think we can't. We don't realize how much power we have. So I want to tell you a story. And based on that story, you're going to make some decisions. I'm going to make some decisions on how we need to change. All right. So there are things that we decide that we're not good at, right? Like, for instance, for entrepreneurs, I'm not good at speaking. I'm not good at negotiating. I'm not an entrepreneur. And I'm like, you have it in you. You could probably be an entrepreneur, right? The fact that, some will say, I didn't learn any business stuff in med school. Yeah, but we still have brains. We can still learn it now. Like, we can change so much. It's so crazy how much we can change. All right. Okay. So my husband doesn't know this, but I'm using his story. And, I learned a lot of stuff from him. So I'm just going to tell his business. All right. So my husband decides that he wants to be someone who exercises regularly. And he did not take consistent walks. He did not run consistently or anything like that. And he's like, I want to be able to run a mile without stopping. Now, for me, I run the distance between 3 mailboxes on a good day. Okay. And that's it. So I'm like, yeah, go for it, and I'll be rooting for you. So I actually snuck in and looked at his journals to give you these dates. Okay. But don't tell. And so June the 1st was when he started taking regular walks. So every day he takes a 45-minute walk, and that became part of his morning routine. And for the parents in the house, let me tell you something cool. You'll really like this. He started doing that, and somewhere along the line, he started taking my older two. So my 12-year-old and my 11-year-old, and they walk with him every morning. And when they walk, they would listen to a faith-based teaching, or they would listen to a motivational talk as they go. And on their way back, because they were listening to 3 different things, they have conversations around what they listened to and what they got out of it. I think that is such a powerful habit. I think my kids in their 30s and 40s will be telling stories about how they were changed and how the platform for success was set on those walks. So I'm throwing that out there because if that's something you want to do with your kids, go for it. You don't have to. I'm just telling you because it'll help somebody. But anyway, June 1st, he started walking. All right. So 45-minute walk every single day. And then by July 20th, he's like, you know what? I'm going to start running. So he started doing some short jogs. Like when I say short, I mean the distance between 3 or 4 mailboxes, like that kind of short. And I measure them in mailboxes because I learned that from Michelle Quirk, who is a run coach and an EntreMD business school student. You should check her out, mindfulmarathon.com, but mindful-marathon.com. Okay. So started doing some short jogs, right? This is a month later, but at this point, he had that routine where he was walking every morning. Every morning at 6:45, he's out the door and he walks for 45 minutes. Then August 5th, which was about 2 weeks after that, he started doing a daily jog. And what he would do is every day he would stretch the distance, and every day he would stretch the distance. And then November 13th, he ran over a mile nonstop. So this is from, I'm not even walking every day, so I'm running a mile nonstop in 5 months. And it wasn't something super stressful in the sense that it didn't throw his whole life out of balance and all that stuff. He followed a principle, right? And so when he ran that mile, I was like, man, that is so good. So what do you think led to this transformation? And his answer is the basis for this podcast. Okay. So I said, what made you go from not even a walker to a runner who can run for a mile without stopping? He said, number one, I recognized that I had it in me. Okay. So let's track back. For you, you may be thinking, I'm not a speaker. I'm not an entrepreneur. I can't build a profitable business. I have a business, but I can't make money out of it. I can't attract the right clients. You may be thinking all these things. Okay. I want you to adopt what he did. I want you to hear this. He said, I recognize I had it in me. So it may not be developed. I may not be using it, but I have it in me. Can you recognize that you have it in you to be a great speaker? Can you recognize that you have it in you to build a 6 and 7 figure business? Can you recognize you have it in you? It may not be showing, you may be struggling at it, but it's in you. That's the first step. And if you don't want to relive the next 12 months, you have to recognize those things you wished you had that you know would have made your life better. You have it in you. That's the first thing. Okay. The second thing is, he says, is I had to start from where I was, right? So where was he? At some point, where he was I have to start by walking every day. So you may think, oh, I suck at speaking, suck at it. Maybe for you, that means I start by doing a video. I can't show up on stage, but I can do a video, right? Maybe you're like, business. Nope, can't do it. But maybe you've recognized it's in you. Maybe the starting point for you is going to get it registered. Maybe the starting point for you is signing up for EntreMD on demand. Maybe the starting point for you is introducing yourself like, I am whoever, I'm the founder of XYZ. I don't know what it is, but you start from where you are. What if he decided to start when he could run? That he won't be running now. But because he started by walking every day, now he's running. So what is that next baby step that is right in front of you that you can take right now? Take it. Take it. Start from where you are. Okay? So that was the second thing. And I'm like, okay, great. I was like, so what else? He's like, stretch every day. You might go like, okay, so after taking a walk, you stretch? No, stretch. Do more. Do more. So he started off by running the distance between 3 or 4 mailboxes. And he'd do that, and then he'll finish up walking. And the next time he goes, he stretches 1 more mailbox. And the next time, 1 more mailbox. And the next time, 1 more mailbox. If you will start from where you are, and you will do something in that direction every day, and you'll do a little more. Oh my goodness, what could you look like in 5 months? What kind of business could you build in 5 months? What kind of people, what number of people could you help in 5 months? 5 months will come and go anyway, but will you be different or will you be the same? If you will adopt these 3 things, 2021 or the next 12 months from now will be so different. So different. So this is my question for you, because I don't want you to listen to this episode and not do any reflection. Reflection number 1, what do I need to recognize is in me? That's a question you need to answer. What is that? I'm a great entrepreneur. It's in me somewhere. I know how to create financial freedom. It's in me somewhere. I know how to give my clients great results. It's in there. It's in me somewhere. I know how to rock a stage. It's in me. I'm great at marketing. I'm great at selling. It's in me. What do you need to acknowledge is in you? I want you to acknowledge it. And this is one of these episodes you might need to go back and listen to and pull out pen and paper and think on paper. Okay? So that's the first reflection. The second reflection, what are the next steps I need to take? What do I need to do to start from where I am? You don't start from tomorrow. You don't start from someday in the future. You start now. What can I do to start now? And then I want you to commit and take those actions. If you are bent on not having the next 12 months look like the last 12 months, you cannot not do this. You can't. You can't afford not to do this. Okay? So what are those next steps? What do I do to start from where I am? Do it. And the next thing is making a commitment to stretch every day. Let me tell you something. One of the best things I did in the last 12 months, which I'm going to do for the rest of my life, is I got comfortable being uncomfortable. Like, I'm cool. Like, oh, how is this going to play out? I am comfortable with that. Because that is the place where growth happens. That is the place where change happens. That's where everything happens. So I'm cool with being uncomfortable. I'm cool with being stretched and going like, oh my goodness, I'm cool with it. If you can adopt that, where every day you stretch, every day you stretch further so you stay out of your comfort zone. If you'll do that, my goodness. So make a commitment. Like, every day I'm going to stretch. So I was so scared of speaking, so I didn't speak, and I started doing videos. And now, oh my God, I'm going to do a Facebook Live. So I'm actually going to be live. I'm going to reach out to someone. I'm going to speak at a virtual summit. I'm going to reach out to someone, be a guest on their podcast. I'm going to make offers. I'm going to ask people to come use my service. Like, everything you're uncomfortable, just stretch. And every day stretch a little further. And every day stretch a little further. And every day stretch a little further. And who knows? By the 6-month mark in the year where you'll be. Okay? All right. So I hope you got it. These are the 3 things. Number 1, recognize it's in you. Number 2, start from where you are. Number 3, stretch every day. So if you will do these 3 things, then your next 12 months will be dramatically different from your previous 12 months. And I would love to celebrate that with you. All right. So make the commitments to do these 3 things. Share this podcast episode. If you want to share your commitments, you can share them in the EntreMD Facebook group. We're all entrepreneurs in there. Tag me on it. I would love to cheer you on. And let's go make the next 12 months our best ever, irrespective of what the year looks like. Thank you so much for listening. Don't forget to share this podcast episode, and I'll see you on the very next episode of the EntreMD Podcast. Hey, if you love listening to the EntreMD Podcast, I want to invite you to join EntreMD On Demand. It is my signature subscription program that gives you access to a library of business courses designed to help you do one thing as a physician entrepreneur, and that is to thrive. Just head out to EntreMD.com/on-demand, and I'd love to have you join us. See you on the inside.